Lee Marsh says, what keeps you driven to make new cosplay costumes? It's that feeling. It's that, it's less an operating instruction than there are still costumes that I want to put on. There's still spacesuits I want to wear and characters I'd like to be. I want to put on a full set of Beskar armor and see if I can obtain and achieve the swagger that Pedro Pascal brings to Mando. And how much swagger is inherent in the outfit and how much I need to bring. Because that delineates an excellent costume, is that it's a bit of both. Yeah, it's never ending. There's a suit of armor I want to commission from somebody. It's an interesting power. It's an interesting feeling, that feeling of pouring your body into a narrative that meant something to you. That is absolutely the way that I came to describe it, and it really is true. You are diving in. And I mean, I am sure, although actors don't often talk about the props and the costumes, but I'm sure that they anchor actors in performance as well. I know from talking to Sam Harris, who was in Inglourious Bastards, told me, man, you have no idea how deep Quentin Tarantino's prop masters go. They give you your clothes and they give you stuff for your pockets and they give you a wallet with stuff in it and old money. They give you Red Apple cigarettes and old-timey matches. They put maps and letters of reference in your pocket. Like, all that, man, all that brings the actor into a place that allows them to do something remarkable, a bit of sympathetic magic to tell a story. And cosplay is the same thing. I mean, in a different format, but and for the record, the idea of being an actor in a movie like mystifies me as to how anyone does it for real, because the closer I've gotten to doing it, and I've spent some days on set filming things and even acted across from amazing actors, the fact of what it is to be an actor and wear a costume and sell a character and sell a role and tell a story blows my freaking mind. It is so hard to do. Have I ever broken someone else's cosplay by accident? No. Vicky Bly says, when you're walking the floor, do you stay in character the entire time? I tried. So my costume this weekend was, I was MacReady from The Thing. I had a flamethrower. I managed to get a hold of the correct gun group, the business end of a flamethrower from a pyro that I work with, and I cast it, and so it was all really correct, and I had the beard, and because my face wasn't covered except for the beard, hat, and Varney sunglasses, I didn't speak in costume until. And so I was walking around with a wire and a petri dish that said MacReady, and everyone was, people were like, hey, MacReady, and that was fun, and eventually I got discovered. But at one point as I was walking, and I was still not trying not to speak because I thought my voice would give me away, and I hear, I love MacReady. And I turn around to see this tiny little blonde girl. She maybe was this tall and like central casting little blonde girl. And she's like, I love MacReady. And I felt the need to go, you seem too young to love MacReady. And she thought that was the best thing she'd ever heard. And she was like, yeah, The Thing. And her parents were laughing. And it was just awesome. It was freaking delightful. I totally broke character for that. I thought that was very fun. Phil Redbeard. How would you advise someone who doesn't have a slim body size and who wants to cosplay? Am I relegated to larger characters? I tried to do an Indiana Jones a while back, and I'm not sure the portly Indy worked too well. Honestly, it makes me afraid to cosplay, although I'd love to get into it. That's a terrific question, Phil. And I would say, yeah, we all cosplayers grapple with how we fit into a costume, right? It's because you are not the movie star. None of us are. for the most part. I've heard that Mark Ruffalo actually cosplays for real at cons. I'm dying to do that with him someday, Mark, if you're watching. But the thing that I would tell you is there's no rule. If you want to put on a Spider-Man outfit, you should put on a Spider-Man outfit. If it makes you feel good to put it on in private, I would suggest you try wearing it at a con. If you are nervous that someone may make fun of you, I would tell you that that person is probably not going to attend a con. That what you're going to find out there on the floor is love and encouragement. So if you are look, I have a Spider-Man costume. I'm never going to have the appropriate body for a Spider-Man costume because no matter how skinny I get, I'm always going to have a spare tire, and I'm never going to be that kind of ectomorph that a Spider-Man suit requires. So I bought sweatpants so I could do a dad bod Spider-Man, which I could nail. And that is absolutely like using my body the way, it works to achieve a thing. But dude, I have seen every costume on every kind of body type. And the thing I want to say to you is I have seen people be incredibly courageous about just putting on something and walking out there. And their courage, in my experience, is rewarded by the crowd you meet out there on the floor, for real. So I would say, remember that you are in a welcoming community, and if someone does give you shit, you call me or tweet to me, and I will give them crap because that's not okay. I'm a big believer in eliminating gatekeeping wherever I can find it. And lowering the threshold to entry to as close to 0, which means if a costume makes you feel good, you should wear it. Oh man, there was this family of siblings that came to my autograph table. There was like 5 kids, and they were like, our parents are out of town this weekend. We came to the con. I'm like, who's in charge? And one of them was like, I'm the oldest, I'm in charge. And 2 of them were wearing armor that they had built out of cardboard and hot glue. And the quality of the armor wasn't important. What was important was that both of the kids wearing that cardboard armor, you could tell they loved it. You could tell it made them feel good. When you put on something, it changes, and you sort of look into a mirror and you realize that you bring your shoulders back and your chest out and you keep your head a certain way and the costume looks amazing. And by the way, the more you try that superhero pose, the more you try those heroic stances, the more amazed you will be at Tom Hiddleston, who can turn that on a dime. He just has that is a guy who's always acting to the silhouette, I swear. I watched Loki again, and I love I love everything about his output, really. But the portly indie might not have worked too well for you. You might have been disappointed, but I don't think anyone else was looking at it going, eh. And again, if they are, they're not in the right place. They're not in the right community. So good luck. Remember that you're walking into a welcoming space. I'd also love some other suggestions in the comments about how other people deal with this. Because like I said, I've seen every possible body type attack and attempt and work with every possible costume. And some of those are the ones that make me the most thrilled because, I can imagine some people had a hard time working up the nerve to do. Look, just working up the nerve to put on a skin tight costume with any body type is terrifying. Yeah, like I said, I feel that too. It's real. And the more I intersect with this community, and I feel like I'm still just getting to know the whole cosplay community every single time I step onto the floor, the more I feel that love and that welcoming, nurturing nature. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.